Welcome to Inspired Chi Radio with your hosts AJ Johnzak and Tracy Sanjanetti. In this program, we explore what makes you a powerful soul by learning to connect with your guides and master your own energy. It's time once and for all to get rid of the obstacles in your life that are keeping you from being the true soul you're meant to be. Now, here are your hosts, Tracy and AJ.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Chi Radio. My name is AJ Johnzak.
And I'm Tracy Sanjanetti.
And together we are
Inspired Chi.
Welcome back for what's going to, no doubt, be a very, very exciting and fascinating episode tonight. And we're going to jump into that in just a moment. But Tracy, would you like to recap last week's episode? Equally fascinating, but my heart's really in this one tonight. So we'll get to that in just a moment.
Yes, last week our episode with Joe Longo about Kundalini was very fascinating. So if you had not had a moment to check that out, Joe Longo is a yoga photographer, transformational coach. He has his own podcast and a lot of very cool stuff he has going on. So all the links will be on last week's episode. If you want to check that out, please do.
And by the way, anybody who did listen to that or get a chance to listen to that episode live, Joe was speaking about some breath work, which I have been doing since then. I feel about 3 inches taller. I feel like I really do. I don't know what it is, but I feel taller. So yes, great episode from last week. But I want to introduce this guest because this is somebody that I personally know. She is somebody that I've attended her angelic Reiki training, and I have the great pleasure of introducing Connie Welke to our audience. Connie is by profession, she's a biologist, she is a teacher, and she is also one of the most fascinating people I know in terms of different spiritual modalities that she is trained in, teaches, shares, highly intuitive. I really just can't say enough things about Connie. And as I've said on so many episodes already, full disclosure, I wanted Connie, I was hoping Connie would be able to be on one of her episodes, and she is. And Connie, thank you so very much, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
We're going to start with your spiritual journey because I'm fascinated how a biologist goes to teaching angelic Reiki. A lot of starts and stops along the way, I think, typically go with our spiritual journeys. Share with our audience, if you would, how your journey has, where it began, and what's brought you to the point now.
Well, it's interesting because I think as anybody who's on a spiritual path will tell you that they've always felt a little bit different. And I have always felt a little bit different. However, I would say about 15 years ago, a friend of mine said to me, maybe longer, I don't remember, you need to learn Reiki. And I said, Reiki? I don't even know what that is. I'm not learning Reiki. It was back when nobody knew anything, talked about anything about Reiki. So being the person that I am, I ended up in the Reiki class. And it was a lot of fun. It was easy. It was fun. Yusui Reiki is wonderful modality. And I did well. So I ended up not being able to say no and ended up in Reiki 2 and Reiki 3 and Reiki, Master Teacher Reiki. I did the whole thing. And it was fun. It was easy. And I played with it. I just played with it. And one day a friend of mine came to me and said, completely different friend. She said, I have a medium coming to my house and I'm supposed to have 10 people. So you have to come and it's tonight. And I said, I don't do any of that. And she said, oh yeah, you do. You have to come. I need somebody. So of course, being the person that I am, I ended up there. And it was Teresa Roba, who's quite well known in our area. And she was introduced to the group of us that we were a group of teachers and we worked together. And so when it was my turn for the session, Teresa said, "Who are you and what do you do?" I have an angel leaning in right here, right now, telling me that you're a healer and you already know how to heal. And that was the day that I took this energy work seriously. Until then, I was really just playing and having fun. But from that point on, I have spent most of my time learning, growing, and understanding this energy work. I took a Kundalini course. I took a Karuna Reiki course. I have done many, many, many other types of modalities. But the one I found that really strengthened my journey was the Angelic Reiki class. And in 2007, I went to Sedona, Arizona, not knowing anybody. And those are the 8 days that changed my life forever and set me on a spiritual journey that I wouldn't change for a moment. So the ancient wisdom that's embedded within this course is profound and allows you to set your pace for your spiritual growth. And I can't say enough about it. It has forever changed my life. So that's how I got started. Kind of fell into it.
I love that. And I think what you're going to find so funny is that you mentioned Teresa Roba, who is actually our next week's guest. So it's funny how things work out. Her name's coming up here quite a bit. But
synchronicity, yes.
Can you please tell some of the members of our audience who maybe aren't clear about what Reiki is, what Reiki is and what angelic Reiki, like what the difference is between that and some of the more traditional methods?
Okay. Reiki really is a form of energy transfer. And all of them are great and wonderful. And they do transfer energy from the universe to the person using it, to the person it's being directed towards. The difference with angelic Reiki is that in order to hold the energy of angels, archangels, ascended masters, galactic healers, you have to change your molecular vibration in order to be able to hold that energy and become that channel of that energy for the person that you're directing it towards, whether it be yourself, a tree, a client. Perfect channel. And in order to do that, the attunements and the vibrational changes that have to happen in your body allow you to be able to do that. It's different from Usui or Karuna Reiki, where the symbols control the energy that you channel. And you, as a human, have to decide which symbol is the most relevant to the situation you're going to use, because the use of that symbol sets the intention of the energy that's going to come in. With angelic Reiki, you channel the most perfect angel, archangel, ascended master, galactic healer, energy force, even the divine itself for that situation. So it takes a lot of the humanness out of it, and you just become this perfect channel vehicle for the energy. That's quite profound.
It is quite profound. And a little bit later, I want to share the profound experience I had working with Connie and being a student in her class. But for right now, Connie, anybody who's sitting there saying, well, I'm not Catholic, I don't believe in angels. Angels are not just recognized in the Catholic tradition, and angels have a much broader interpretation. So for anybody sitting there saying, well, I'd like it, but I don't know that I believe in angels, how would you explain angels?
Well, angels are an energy force. They're a positive energy force that you don't really have to have a belief in angels, so to speak, to be able to channel that energy force. I mean, the energy of an archangel is like channeling the energy of a nebula. They are immense, they are huge, and their design is really part of the sacred geometry of the universe. So being a scientist and maybe not believing in angels per se, you do, however, understand that there is an energetic patterning design of the universe, and it's that design that you are incorporating and channeling in and using. So,
and you had mentioned sacred geometry as something, and that's something I'm fascinated by. Excuse me. And I'm never sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Merkaba or Merkaba. What is the correct pronunciation, first of all?
I hear it both ways, Merkaba and Merkaba. It depends on who you're talking to. So yes, but that is your own personal vehicle. It is two opposing motions of light, one linked to your mind and the other linked into your emotional body, and that is your soul's vehicle for which to travel through the dimensions. And it's extremely important that everybody pay attention to the fact that they do have a Merkaba and they connect with their Merkaba, because it is part of your soul's design in order to have a healthy, functioning Merkaba. It's a very important piece in angelic Reiki. So, yeah, it's part of your connection to the design of the universe, because the universe is geometric in design.
So speak, if you would, for a moment before we have to go to break about, or a couple moments before we have, how you would connect with the Merkaba.
How I connect with Merkaba. Okay. Everything I do is through intention. So with angelic Reiki, intention is 1000% of what you do. And I would sit quietly in a meditative state, listen to whatever music would help me get into that meditative state, and actually connect and move into my Merkaba. And you can do that with practice. It is part of your body's design and your soul's design to have this vehicle for which to move through the dimensions. Once you connect with it, it's really easy to have out-of-body experiences and be able to move through the dimensions. And I don't see it as a structure. I see it more in my eye is as a energy field that is around me.
I am really excited to hear more about traveling through dimensions and how that is possible, and a little bit about your experience. So if you will just stay with us, when we come back, we're going to ask Connie a little bit more about that. Traveling through the dimensions.
We'll be back in a moment.
Find out what's happening on the Voice America Talk Radio Network by keeping up with us on Twitter. You can find us at Voice America TRN.
If you are ready to be inspired, energized, and edutained, you've come to the right place with our 2 life-changing programs at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com. Live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Listen for our lifestyle show, Star Style, Be the Star You Are, with our host Cynthia Bryan. Then on Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Teens Talk and the World Listens on Express Yourself Teen Radio. Play with us at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com and the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
For teens, by teens, and about teens. Tune into the uncensored and unedited discussions with young adults on Express Yourself. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Smart, tenacious teen hosts and reporters from around the country speak up and speak out. Express Yourself. Visit the website for the show to find out more at ExpressYourselfTeenRadio.com. And check out the show on the Voice America Empowerment Channel every Sunday.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
Get ready for High Vibin' It with host Lindsay Robinson and Kelsey Aida. This is an all-new look at self-empowerment and lifestyle design. If you're still trying to figure out the law of attraction, spirituality, self-love, and more, we'll break it down for you. You can create the life of your dreams and own your power. Listen for High Vibin' It. We're live every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. This will be 1 hour you will make time for.
Are you looking for a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life? Do you want your business to thrive? Do you want to enjoy better relationships and find your purpose? Tune in every week to Stepping into the 10 Da Dao Chung Life Transformation with Dr. and Master Sha with host Diana Gold Holland, who will share the wisdom of Master Sha. You'll hear from inspiring teachers and listen to testimonials about life transformation. Stepping into the 10 Da Dao Chung can be heard Tuesdays at 3 p.m. in the West and 6 p.m. in the East on Voice America Empowerment.
This is Inspired Chi Radio. To reach the program today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or send an email to yourtruechi@gmail.com. Now, back to AJ and Tracy.
Welcome back to Inspired Chi Radio, the place to start your week inspired. And tonight's episode has a wonderful guest, somebody that we've been hoping to get on our show, and she agreed. And so welcome back, Connie Welke. And when we left the last segment, we were speaking about sacred geometry and the Merkaba and fascinating spiritual travel that we do. And so let's continue that conversation. I know, Tracy, you had some follow-up questions.
Yes, I definitely do. Agnes and myself, Agnes has taken your courses before, and I'm very excited to do so, which we'll talk about a little bit later as we get on with the show. But just the expression of being able to travel through the dimensions and reach that higher frequency through Reiki, I had studied it with the traditional symbols that you had spoke of, up to Reiki Master, but I feel like there's something a little bit different with the sacred geometry that I don't want to say, not that one is better than the other, but almost up levels in, especially when you're channeling and things like that. Can you go into that a little bit more for myself and for our guests today?
Yes. In order to channel beings in a higher dimension, like angels, their lowest dimension is 8, you have to change your molecular vibration in order to be able to stretch yourself to get into that 8th dimension and channel them. And to do so, you have to understand that your senses, all of them, keep you locked in the 3rd dimension. And that's really the only thing that keeps you in this illusion of the 3rd dimension. So it's very easy to travel through the dimensions if you lose your connection to those senses and allow your energy body, your feeling body around you, to travel out through the dimensions. And it's really something that can be easily trained for people to do, because you are a soul first and foremost, and that soul exists in all the dimensions. It's just this illusion of being here in the third dimension and your senses that keep you here. So once you drop your senses, you can move through the dimensions. And I have had wonderful experiences traveling to other planets. And one of them that I went to, I was there and I was feeling just tremendous pain, and it was horrible to be there. And one of the beings who was there with me looked at me and said, "Lose the density." So I left it, came back, re-established my meditation, decided I was not embodying there. I was going to go as a soul. I was able to go back and experience that new dimension without the density of the third dimension. So it was quite interesting, and so many incredible experiences that you can have.
And Connie, for folks who are listening to this and saying, wow, other planets, I have trouble just dreaming at night. Explain to folks, when we astral travel, we are in fact going to other dimensions. And
oh, absolutely, we exist in all the dimensions, all the time. It's just honestly our dependence on our senses, specifically sight, that keeps us locked here in this illusion of the third dimension. So once you are no longer dependent on your senses, you can experience other dimensions all the time. You just have to be conscious and cognizant of letting that go.
So for someone who has done this astral travel work, when you're getting these, when you're in your travels and getting your messages and doing the channeling, are you journaling this? Is it similar to where maybe you would go into like an automatic writing meditation and find yourself in a different place as a different soul and getting that lesson?
Well, most of the time that I do this, I'm actually doing a Reiki session for a client, to be honest. And I'm not sleeping, and I'm not really astral traveling, because you don't have to be in a sleep state to do this. So as far as when I'm doing this, for the most part, it's during that type of meditation that I call the channeling of angelic Reiki. Is you can space and time really do not exist in energy work at all. So that's an illusion.
And Connie, it's so funny when you said, when you're working with clients, you're having these experiences. Mm-hmm. I have found that in my work, whether it's working in the Akashic Records for a client, I learned so much about myself. Mm-hmm. So much awareness I'm getting, and it almost feels like I'm not saying I shortchanged the client. I'm very grateful to the client that thank you for bringing your energy into my world, and thank you for asking to do some work with me, because we experience each other, and it's that shared consciousness. I think we mirror each other in so many ways. Connie, if you would, speak about what an angelic Reiki session is like in terms of how you approach it, what the client or the student is doing, and then I think I'll share my experience.
Well, I see clients for people who come for energy work, and basically they set the intention for the time that we're together. Now, we do not have to physically be, because as I said, time and space don't really exist. So I could have a client in Brazil, client in Puerto Rico, Oregon. I've had them all over the world pretty much. And it really does not have to be in physical space, but they do come to physical space, many people. However, what they do is they set the intention. It is whatever they would like to get out of the session, sets the intention for the higher being to come in. My job in all of this is to create the sacred space and become the channel for that to be accomplished. That's my job in it. And you're right. Many times the being who comes in gifts me with some wonderful whatever, maybe a glimpse of me in another reality, or gives me something profound to give to my client. The client can perceive what's going on or not. If they come regularly over the years, their perception of what is happening in the session becomes more profound for them. However, many, many things happen during a session. I never know, honestly, or have any intention personally of what is to happen. It's always a surprise to me what happens, and it's always amazing for what happens, because it's crafted by the divine to be exactly perfect for that person. And I'm telling you, I'm not creative enough to make it up. So it's amazing what happens for people. If they're open and able to receive it, it can be absolutely amazing. So, and students who come, as I'm sure you can speak to, grow and heighten their vibrational level in order for them to be able to start creating their own sacred space and have their own spiritual channelings and amazing journeys begin and continue, because now they will be able to hold that vibrational pattern.
And I will tell you that that's exactly what happened in my life. So I studied with Connie a few years ago, and it was at a point in my life where I felt that I didn't belong, felt like there was something missing, felt that I was longing for something, and not just from a sense of boredom. I was longing for something. I was longing for something because I felt lonely and disconnected. And I had always been very fascinated and drawn to angels. And I, through somebody we mutually know, I heard about Connie's class and went to it. And I have to tell you that I went with an intellectual viewpoint of, this is what I'm going to get out of it, and this is how I will practice it. And I was a Usui Reiki master by then. And I thought, well, this is just a little bit more. It is so much more. And it was so much more profound. In one of the exercises, we did a meditation. And again, it is one of the most profound moments of my entire life. And I found myself in this meditation that I was walking into some kind of place, and I could hear this noise in the crowd, and the noise was getting louder and louder and louder, people cheering. And as I got into it was almost like coming into a stadium, and you come out of the tunnels onto the stadium floor or an arena floor, and there was this iridescent light everywhere, and almost like glitter or confetti or something falling, and it was so incredibly beautiful. And there was this beautiful music and this beautiful light, like nothing I could truly speak to and have it and give it even half the credit it deserves. And people are cheering. And I'm looking around, and I could see that there were different beings, different types of beings, different people. And everybody's cheering. And I'm getting chills now even thinking about it. And I remember saying to myself, somebody special must be coming. Somebody really incredible must be coming into this arena. Who are we? And I said to somebody next to me, who are we cheering for? And in my head, I heard, we've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you. And this is for you. And I remember for the first time in my life, truly for the first time in my life, I thought, if the angelic realm can be waiting for me and be this excited about me connecting with my angels and my divinity. How on earth can I do anything less than serve the universe with my whole heart and soul? This was so significant in me, having suffered from self-worth issues, and I thought, this is for me. Like, for the love of all that is holy and sacred, this is me. How could I treat myself any less? And that's what I got out of training with Connie. And Tracy, you're looking at me like, here's another story I don't think I've ever told you. It's that significant with angelic Reiki. Truly, there is something up level. Truly, there is something different that changed within me. And I want to thank you for that. We're going to take a break for the moment so I can finish wiping tears. And we'll be back in just a moment more with Connie Welke and speaking about upcoming angelic Reiki classes so that you can also have your own experience in the angelic realm. We'll be right back.
Find out what's happening on the Voice America Talk Radio Network by keeping up with us on Twitter. You can find us at Voice America TRN.
If you are ready to be inspired, energized, and edutained, you've come to the right place with our 2 life-changing programs at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com. Live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Listen for our lifestyle show, Star Style, Be the Star You Are, with our host Cynthia Bryan. Then on Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Teens Talk and the World Listens on Express Yourself Teen Radio. Play with us at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com and the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
For teens, by teens, and about teens. Tune into the uncensored and unedited discussions with young adults on Express Yourself. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Smart, tenacious teen hosts and reporters from around the country speak up and speak out. Express yourself. Visit the website for the show to find out more at ExpressYourselfTeenRadio.com. And check out the show on the Voice America Empowerment Channel every Sunday.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
Get ready for High Vibin' It with host Lindsay Robinson and Kelsey Aida. This is an all-new look at self-empowerment and lifestyle design. If you're still trying to figure out the law of attraction, spirituality, self-love, and more, we'll break it down for you. You can create the life of your dreams and own your power. Listen for High Vibin' It. We're live every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. This will be 1 hour you will make time for.
Are you looking for a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life? Do you want your business to thrive? Do you want to enjoy better relationships and find your purpose? Tune in every week to Stepping into the 10 Da Dao Chung Life Transformation with Dr. and Master Sha with host Diana Gold Holland, who will share the wisdom of Master Sha. You'll hear from inspiring teachers and listen to testimonials about life transformation. Stepping into the 10 Da Dao Chung can be heard Tuesdays at 3 p.m. in the West and 6 p.m. in the East on Voice America Empowerment.
This is Inspired Chi Radio. To reach the program today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or send an email to yourtruechi@gmail.com. Now, back to AJ and Tracy.
Welcome back to Inspired Chi Radio with our guest tonight, Connie Welke, and we are talking about the angelic realm, Reiki, sacred geometry, and much more. I'm going to go back to the angels a little bit before we move on, because as a tarot reader, since I was younger in a more pagan philosophy, I did not think that the angels were part of my spirituality. I associated them with the Catholic Church, as Agnes was saying earlier. And it just wasn't anything I had experience with. And over the break, you were saying how while they were always with me, I may not have recognized it at the time. And it wasn't until my daughter was about 2 and we were at a spiritual fair, as we often do on our adventures. And a couple different things had gone on that day to introduce Uriel to me, who I had never heard of in my entire life before that day. And we had taken Maya to go, I wanted to get her picture taken in the Aura photography booth. And they looked at me because I have this 2-year-old and they said, well, we've never done it for a toddler before, but let's sit her on your lap and we'll take the picture. Okay. So we did that. And then I put it away because we had so much more to see that day. About 2 minutes later, we're walking past this setup of angels and blessings and everything. And this woman walks up and says, can I just bless your daughter? And I'm thinking, this is insane. I don't know. But I mean, how hokey can it really be? We'll just walk in. Maya seemed very calm. And for a 2-year-old, we know that's very unusual. So the woman had all of the archangels against this wall. And she turned to Maya and said, which one do you see? And she, without hesitation, walked up and pointed to Uriel, who I had never heard of, seen, or knew anything about. So I write it down and I put it in my back pocket, not thinking a whole lot about it, just thinking, I'll go home and Google that in case it has any type of meaning for Maya. Agnes and my friend Connie were so kind to take Maya for a hot dog so I could get my reading. And I was getting a reading with another woman, and sure as anything, she flips a card that says Uriel. And I said, this is, my guides and I have a deal that something has to happen to me 3 times for me to say, okay, I hear you. I'm not crazy. This is a message. So I pull out of my back pocket this loose leaf piece of paper that has this angel's name on it. And I hand it to the woman who's reading me. And she goes, well, that never happened before. And I said, well, this has been a very interesting experience. So we finish the day up. We start driving home. And I'm telling the story. And Agnes says, do you see this picture? Did you take a look at this picture? I said, no, not yet. Why? Here with the aura photography, you're going to have a lot of images. You're going to have different colors. And there was a lot of that between the energy of Maya and I. But up in the top left corner, and if I find it, I'll post it, there was angel wings. Bright, yellow, beautiful angel wings in that picture that we took the minute we walked in before Uriel made himself known to me and Maya. So I would say that was my turning point when it came to believing in angels. It was a very moving experience for me because I didn't think that I was really entitled to angels, if that makes sense.
Well, and that's an interesting word that you just used, moving. You know, Connie speaks about changing our molecular vibration to hold the energy when we're working with angels. And I spoke about my moving experience, and you're talking about your moving experience. There is something different here. There is something so profound on a personal level. I'm just fascinated by the work. And Connie, the work that you do is so interesting, and you have some changes coming up in the work that you do. Would you speak for, and by the way, contact Connie. Her contact information will be posted. But let me give it to you right now. So it is Connie.Welke, which is Welke, Connie.Welke@gmail.com. So a School of Divine Alignment. Tell us about that, Connie. That's a new endeavor for you. And we're going to be the first students in the class, I'm sure, so.
Yes, well, my partner and I have started a new school. It's the School of Divine Alignment, and we are going to be teaching classes, Angelic Reiki 1-2 in March. I believe it's that Friday would be the 13th, I think, 14th and 15th, and then a 3-4 class in May, the weekend after Mother's Day. So that is what we are planning to do right now. And we are also designing classes to move beyond your opening journey into Angelic Reiki and really look at your soul's journey, hence the name Divine Alignment, through many other new innovative modalities like Merkaba work, which we both do and is part of our practice, and helping people be ready for the transition into the new decade of 2020, because it's going to be an exciting decade of great change.
Oh, any insights you want to share with us?
Well, we're all watching the change happen planetarily, and ultimately all change works for the good. And so I see nothing but wonderful things happening for everyone. People beginning to move into their spirituality, care for the earth, change the energy of the planet and the energy of how we interact in our solar system and in our galaxy and in the universe. So that's what I predict. So the decade is promising to be very positive in that, the energy is changing, it's intensifying. We're getting more people on the planet who are opening their soul's journey up and are helping to bring the collective consciousness to transitioning in a positive way as the planet, the solar system, the galaxy, the universe moves into the next dimension for us. So it's all going to be exciting and positive.
And Connie, speak for a moment, if you would, about those folks who perhaps are at the beginning stage of their journey, some who have been at it for quite a long time. It doesn't make a difference. It's everybody's energy. And where you are is where you are. It's not good or bad.
Could you ask that one more time? I did not hear the full question.
Absolutely. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty here today, severe weather.
And the frequency of the angels.
And the frequency of the angels saying, come on, move this ahead. No matter where you are on your journey, whether you have just started a spiritual practice, whether you're inconsistent in your practice, whether you are a practicing healer, all of our journeys together, the energy of all of our journeys, no matter where you are, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Correct. Absolutely. Everybody has a web where everyone is interconnected and holding the space and the energy that they need to hold. So if you're a beginner, wonderful. You are doing what you are supposed to be doing, and you are growing at the rate you are supposed to grow. You can choose to grow quickly. You can choose to grow slowly. There is no judgment about what you are doing. If you're so all are important. All is part of this web of Christ's energy on the planet, and everything is working for the collective good.
Now, do you feel, regardless of if you're a beginner or if you've been doing this a very long time and you're very connected, do you feel like there's been an acceleration lately?
Oh,
They don't want us giving away all the secrets, I think.
Yeah, it has been shifting for the last 4 or 5 years, easy, and at an accelerating pace. So, but not for everybody. You know, some people are just moving along at the pace that they want to be at, and that's okay. It's all good. There is room for everyone to move at their pace. But yes, for me, I find it exhilarating.
And again, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. I hope I'm not speaking over Connie at the second, but I always describe myself as an experiential junkie. I love the experience. So I tend to intellectualize a lot. So I'll read 7 books on a subject, and then I will try to dive into the experience. And I think I've come to the point of my life where I want the experience first, and then I'll go do the research. I want the experience, and I know Tracy and I have both spoken. We're going to be taking Connie's upcoming angelic Reiki classes in March and in May. So I'm looking forward, Tracy, to you having the experience, and I'm looking forward to it again myself. Very exciting.
Well, it's so funny. A lot of times when we're busy, you actually have to schedule time for your spiritual growth and to go inward. And we were both just speaking about that just today and over the past week. And I'm acknowledging that maybe not when we are airing this, but when we are recording it, it is the new moon in Aquarius when we're setting our intentions. So I always love when we put that energy out there, what comes back. So I'm very excited about the classes that you have to offer. The school that you're beginning. It seems like 2020 is going to be a real page turner for you and your business and your partner, and just the growth of everyone who kind of comes into contact with you as far as clients and students.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. It's been a while coming, but 2020 has arrived and we're ready to roll and move forward.
And speaking about moving forward, someone's going to have an opportunity to move forward on their spiritual journey. Connie has very graciously agreed to be part of our gift away for our radio audience. And Connie is actually going to be gifting away an angelic Reiki session with one member of our audience. So all the details will be on our site, inspiredchiradio.com. So enter to win what I know will be a very profound experience. And not only profound on an emotional and spiritual level, but fascinating on an intellectual level. So a lot of good things coming up with Connie Welke. Very, very talented, very gifted healer. And again, her contact information will be on our site. But let me repeat it again now, Connie.Welke, WELKE @gmail.com. Check out the School of Divine Alignment. Check out the Angelic Reiki classes 1 and 2 in March and 3 and 4 in May. And Connie, it has been our absolute pleasure and such an honor to connect with you again. I look forward to seeing you soon. And it's so interesting how the universe works. Connie had mentioned at the beginning of the episode that she had gone to a mediumship event with Teresa Roba, and interestingly enough, next week's episode is with Teresa Roba, speaking about saints and spirits. So I feel kind of like we've come full circle, Connie, and maybe you feel that synchronicity as well. So
I really do. I do. It's been wonderful to spend this time with both of you today, and a real gift. So I appreciate it.
Well, it is our gift spending time with you and sharing you with our radio audience. So we will say to our radio audience and clients and family and friends, thank you for supporting us at Inspired Chi Radio, and bright blessings to all of you.
Connie, thank you so much for being our guest today. I cannot wait to meet you in person, and check out all of those links to get in touch with Connie, enter the gift away, and to tune into previous episodes and upcoming ones, or to listen to this at the beginning if you're catching this in the middle or end.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Inspired Chi Radio. Be sure to join your host, Tracy Sanginetti and AJ Johnsack, for another edition next Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Stay inspired.